okay, this is like, from now on, this is going to get real. Not real, but like you're going to have really like next level competitors coming over, and it was awesome because it made me go to another level as well. Like it makes you become a better athlete, a better person, better competitor, and it brings the best out of you. And and that's awesome. Like that's what athletes do to each other. That they inspire you, and you respect. I respected those Zane's talents and all those guys' talents. That I wanted to step up my game and try and compete with them as well. So I thank those guys for doing that race and for me being able to like take my training and my diet and everything to the next level and become just a better person and athlete.
I just thought of something right now. on this show before, I've had a great guy, a guy from Iran, Ethan Bashiri, who was a refugee.
Yeah,
he spent 5 days at sea, floating. They were lost from Jakarta. They ended up in Christmas Island, blah, blah. Great story.
Wow.
But he explained there was something like 80 of them sitting in this boat hull that was sinking.
Yeah.
Totally lost. They're going the wrong way. But all their skin, because they were in this salt water, and they had direct sunlight burnt on the top, but because they couldn't move, they were just jam-packed in, their like layers of skin were falling off.
God.
And what happens when you're doing 52 Ks what happens to your hands?
Yeah, it's your hands are fine. You do get gnarly rashes, a sunburn. I've had like my toes are just rubbed raw, bleeding and stuff. But really, like you could say, when you hear things like that, like what we did was minor. It's like what's a rash? What's a bit of skin off the feet? It's nothing. Like so.
But do you see anything weird? I'm going to ask you a stupid question. Do you see any open ocean, Hawaii, the other side of the world?
Yeah,
any sort of big jellyfish pop up?
Oh yeah, there's sharks, there's big tiger sharks. I've seen pilot whales. They call them Portuguese men of war, the blue bottles, and flying fish. Flying fish come through and hit you. Wow. Big packs, and you got to be careful because they can hit you in the face and like knock you out and knock you off your board and stuff. And so yeah,
no one wants to lose a race because of a flying fish.
That's exactly right. I've had a buddy who got hit in the face with a flying fish, and one of the bones of the fish went through his gum and out the other side, and had his big bone stuck through his gums. So so yeah, you see the general stuff. It's out there. The water's deep. There's big sharks. There's stories. I had a big tiger shark follow me for about 15 minutes one year. My escort boat didn't tell me because what are you going to do? Wow. Like, I'd rather not know, unless it's about to really come up and start, playing with you. But I've heard stories of they, seen big fishes. Like, all of a sudden you see a fish come by the front of your board, then all of a sudden you just see this big pool of blood, like a shark just taking the fish, so stuff like that. But what do you expect, man? You paddle between two islands in Hawaii. It's not like,
Well, then, what's it like? I've always felt safe for the last 15 years on the Gold Coast going, there's no sharks. There might, down there, Byron Bay, where they breed, the great white comes up to there. They've worked sort of that. This is my dummy Logan science, right?
Yeah.
If and in the last few, there's been bull shark attacks in the gutter of the surf. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was years ago.
Yeah.
I've gotten relaxed to the idea of sharks, but then I think about you guys that are in the open ocean. Big wave stuff all around the world. Yeah. It's a different world. I'm fooling myself, right? So, to see Mick Fanning, that shark attack the other last year.
Look, there's sharks. There's sharks out there, and certain places. When we go to Maverick, it's right in San Francisco. There, it's right in what they call the red triangle for great white sharks breeding. So they're out there. The guys have been attacked there, and Hawaii. There was a bunch of attacks this year just before the season started. The guy lost his leg, and another guy got. There was like 4 or 5 attacks. So God, it's part of it. It's like jumping on the road here. How many car accidents are a day, fatalities. It's so you look. It's out there. It's just scary the fact you think you're going to get attacked by this animal, right? That's the scary thing that you think about. But
it's kind of good at the same time, though. I kind of think, well, that's more natural.
It is.
Than being splattered by a bus.
Natural selection, right?
Yeah, and maybe your death is actually better. Maybe your death is more natural.
I'd rather get taken out than some idiot that's drunk driving take me out, you know. So anyway, it's out there. You know, I feel for Mick. You know, like, you know, I just saw this morning he wants to go back to J Bay and probably kill those demons. And but you know, he's back surfing, and you know, him forever and a day. He might get those Heebie Jeebies, you know, in certain times. But you know, you're out there. It's what you do. It's, you know, I'm surprised that it doesn't happen more often. You know.
Me too. Yeah, I liken them to dogs.
Mate, look at how many people surf in the Gold Coast every day. Yeah. Like every day out of the whole year, and how many attacks on the Gold Coast you hear about. What's the odds of that? Yeah. It's like it's just the odds are so ridiculous. And when it happens, it's just sensationalized, and that's why the media goes crazy over it, you know. Yeah.
So, you know, here's another funny story. I'll talk to Andrew, and he's in the reception at your office there. You're never there, yeah? What do you call him?
Moose.
Moose!
Big Moose.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Good guy, right?
Yeah, legend.
So I say, Andrew, where is he now, you know? And he points to some $25,000 check you won just the other day for the, what is it?
That was for the biggest wave of the year last year, yeah.
Paddle it in,
yeah.
Right? And what blows my mind when I'm talking to him is like, okay, that's just the biggest paddle in wave. That's the one you want. And how big was that wave? Roughly, you know.
Yeah, you know, in the 50-foot face range.
Right. I always think about. I always say to him, "Oh, guess what? It's a Tuesday now, right? He's probably doing a 20-footer here, and it's, you know what I mean. You're just always, you guys are just always doing the most craziest sort of things, and maybe no one's watching, or to us, right? You know, anyone here on the coast may think like 6 foot is very pretty. You know,
well, it's all relative.
Your belt, you know?
It's all relative. You know, like, you know, for me, a 20-foot wave, the way I feel and get nervous is maybe the way that you feel about a 6-foot wave, right? So it's all relative. You know, like, you know, it'd be like me going and jump on a motocross bike. Like, a guy can go do a triple backflip to feel like alive. For me, like, it might be just getting 2 foot of air over a burn. You know what I mean? Like, it's really just relative to, you know, who you are, what you've grown up doing, and this and that, you know, like, so it's, you know, I tell people, they're like, oh, you know, like, it's not a big wave. I'm like, well, yeah, it is. Don't sell yourself short. You know, big wave at 6 to 8 foot burley is a big wave, you know, for 95% of the people, you know, because that's what they're used to, you know, or not used to. Like, whereas me, like, I've been training to do that my whole life, I feel like, and I surf those waves consistently. So, you know, a 15-foot wave for me might just be like warming up, and then when it gets in that 20-foot to 25-foot range, that's when, you know, everything starts, the nervousness, the, you know, kicks in, the adrenaline, you know. So I don't know. It's just,
is there a feeling in the water with everyone, like, really a lot of support? I'd imagine, like, a lot of heightened, you know, these big waves and these blokes and that bloody surfboard, you know, like. Is there a heightened feeling of teamship, so, you know, to get through this sort of...
Yeah, it really is. It's a bit of a team sport, big wave surfing, you know, because, you know, you need jet skis, you need water safety, you know, sometimes you got boats and stuff. So you do have teams, and you use certain people where you're going, you know, to certain places in the world. So, yeah, and you know, when it's serious, there's just a feeling, there's an energy, and... yeah, everyone's looking out for each other. You've got to, because it could be you that goes down and needs to be revived, or...
You ever had that?
You know, no, lifeguarding I have, but not in the big wave scene, you know, touch wood. So, that I never have to see that. But, you know, it's reality. Reality is that it's dangerous, and we can drown and get knocked out or get seriously hurt. So yeah, it's just part and parcel, but it's like any sport, right? It's any extreme sport. There's the risk versus reward.
You ever surfed at Shipsterns? Lifeguarding, Tassie? Yeah,
I have. Yeah.
I think I've seen a photo of you too.
Yeah, I surfed years ago. Not so much lately, but
that just looks crazy.
Yeah, it is a crazy wave. Those Tasmanians are crazy, mate.
Yeah. it just looks nuts, like an impossible kind of wave. Does it have a sound about it? Is it breaking on shallow sort of?
It breaks right close to the headland there, and you can see that big crazy steps and ledges in the wave. So it's a real amazing wave. I mean, it looks sort of stupid and crazy, but those guys make it look really good.
Yeah. I told the story before to Tony Dempsey, who was sitting in that chair.
Yeah.
You know, about the sound. I think the only time I went out in big surf was it was 10 foot round about in the alley.
Yep.
Something like, it was the year the crocodile hunter died.
Yeah.
God bless him.
Yeah.
2007 or something. It was a big year, right?
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe I was in the water with these guys. There was only about 8 of us, right? And I didn't even take on a wave, I'll be honest, mate. It was like too big.
Yeah.
But I just sat there as these things, I punched through a wave luckily and got through the set,
Yeah.
But I couldn't believe the sound.
Yeah.
Like this, it was like ripping the air out of the sky or something. The sound of this wave peeling through and watching these dudes come through these huge barrels, like
Yeah.
But the sound, and that was only that. So whenever I see,
Yeah.
You on a 50 foot, I just think of the sound, the rumble, like the
it's amazing. And every wave is different. And, just close to the rocks, sometimes you can hear rocks moving underwater, and the way that breaks and then the spit comes out the back of the wave. It's Maverick sounds a little different because of the density of the water. It's more dense because it's colder and stuff. So, but Mother Nature, man, at its best and its rawest.
And you can't control anything. Isn't that good?
Yeah, that's right.
Someone said, I remember this argument in the paper. That tennis player, he's the best in the world, and I don't play tennis or watch it, but but my idea is that it's just one person versus another person. But here is surfing is different because you're taking on Mother Earth.
Yeah.
That's to get to that point where you are in that competition. It's taken you years of just being frightened, and getting dumped on the head by the ocean. Like, you know what I mean? Some people, I want to learn to surf.
Yeah.
And you got at least 3 months of being frightened, getting a board jabbed into your ribs, and all that sort of stuff ahead of you. You can learn to surf, but if you're going to be in the water every morning like we all do, sort of thing, you're going to be. Yeah, you got a lot of that ahead of you.
It's a lifetime. It's a lifetime of for me to get where I've got to feel comfortable and be happy with the being able to save myself or that, like, has come from being a nipper from 5 years old. That's where it started. Like, let's be honest, like I was down there, they teach you how to do first aid, CPR, read the water, doing wade races. It's just, for me, that's where it started. That's why those, it's like Tiger Woods, like his dad had a golf club in his hands at 3 years old, like Roger Federer and stuff. I'm sure, like, the motocross guys, like, they've been doing it since they were kids, right? So you just can't go to that level of, and the ocean's different too, because it's not, like you say, tennis, you can go and just play and work it out. There's no real danger involved, whereas what we're doing, you can die. And if you go out and you're inexperienced and you make the right call, it can be the end of your life. So that's where it's, it takes a lifetime of just ocean knowledge to get to that point. And I'm just lucky that I was able to start off, learning about the ocean at a very young age.
You surfed this morning? What'd you do this morning?
This morning I slept in.
Did you? You wouldn't do that much, would you?
Nah, I don't. Well, I'm taking the most of the
chance.
opportunity.
Yeah, there's no sleep when
because
you're
as soon as I jump off the plane tomorrow in Hawaii, little baby's coming into my arms and mum's taking a big break. So I'm getting my sleep while I can.
Oh, put it there, mate.
Yeah.
Put it there. I'm stoked you came in. We've almost reached an hour, but I did a little bit of travelling, right, back in the day with racing cars.
Yeah.
A good 3 years of always doing it. And then I took a break and got back into it as a commentator, but I couldn't. I hate it. I hate it. And not only that, I felt like I'd spent so much time on the Gold Coast, I settled in. I liked TV, I liked this and this and this. I didn't want to go.
Yeah.
So when you said, you've got a 7-month-old baby there and your partner, I'll bet you, from what the travel you've done these last years, I'm sure your girlfriend can see it.
Yeah.
When you start to get itchy, like, You know, and that could come in 4 hours.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't stand here anymore. You know, I can't. I've done years and years of worldwide travel. What do you do? Sleep on people's couches, so to speak? And,
Oh, you like you say, you end